Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter, Shane, Steven, and David. Say what up, boys.
Why, hello there.
Well, hello there as well.
Hi, nerds.
Hi, nerds is way more interesting than sup, nerds. It's very different. Yeah, we are back. We are going to be taking you through a roller coaster ride today. This is going to be part one of the multicolored review of all of the legendary creatures from Dominaria United. It is going to be a lot, so strap in. This is going to be including of all the cards that are from the, quote, Legends Retold, which are from the box toppers and collector boosters, as well as the multicolored of the just any pack you can open, and the multicolored of commander only straight to collector and set boosters. Yeah, Wizards like to do a lot of stuff.
I hate this so much. I hate the fact that whatever. Let's go.
Okay. So this first card we're talking about is Aron, Benalia's Ruin. Aron, Benalia's Ruin is 2 white mana and a black for a 3/3 legendary creature Phyrexian human. It has Menace. It also has an ability where you can pay a white and a black and tap it, sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Shane, start us off.
He's melting.
He is melting. He's Phyrexian.
Oh, shit. That's, wow. 3 mana, 3/3 menace. Seems good. You gotta sacrifice a little boy and give all your creatures 1/1. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, each. Holy shit. This card's nuts.
I do like this card a lot. I look at this with something like Rabble Rousing that you can put in your deck. Every time you attack, it makes that many 1/1s. And then have something that can just sack one of those 1/1s, just keep making more 1/1s. And they just grow and grow and grow and grow. Seems pretty good.
But it's not as good as that Griffin because there's no evasion. Only this guy has menace, so maybe it's not as good. Because then they can just get blocked and blown up.
It doesn't matter if this has Menace. You're going to be wanting to tap this to make its ability go off.
That's true, I guess. But it's going to be a Token Matters deck, but yeah, I don't know. Seems not bad. How about that? I'll step down a little bit.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. I think this card is awful to the point where I just don't actually know if this is playable. It's not a 3-drop because you have to have at least 3 creatures in play, including this one, for it to do literally anything. It wants to put +1/+1 counters on your creatures, but it also eats away at your board. Like, I get that, yeah, you can go with a token strategy on this one, but in that case, this deck does shit whenever it comes to, like, dodging a board wipe or being able to get around that and play around it. I don't like this at all. It seems like a very counterintuitive card.
You are so weird. I'm not going to argue yet.
You sacrifice a creature, have to tap this down, and then you put a +1/+1 counter on your things, assuming you have the things. Like,
How
this literally
drop?
this because what are you going to do on turn 3? You're going to play this?
Yeah.
And do what?
Pass my turn?
Okay, and then turn 4, what are you going to do?
Attack you for 3 commander?
No, you're not going to attack me for 3 commander because then you're not going to use its ability.
Well, I might not want its ability yet. It's menace. I'm going to kill you with commander damage now.
You're not going to kill me with commander damage for a fucking 3/3. Even in the case you do start pumping this thing, you're tapping him down, and you're eating away at your board. So if you're using his ability, you're not attacking me with him.
Dude, you were on the Griffin's dick.
I think the Griffin makes exponential makes exponential tokens. This
but it doesn't dodge a board wipe.
It makes a couple +1/+1 counters.
The thing you said, it doesn't dodge board wipe.
I think this card's great.
Yeah, David is so dumb sometimes.
I said I
wasn't going to argue, and I did it immediately.
I'm going to talk to the viewers at home real quick. So before the video started, we were like, man, we got a lot of cards we got to review. We should keep the comments and arguing down to a minimum. But you know, guys, at the end of the day, that's not us. That's not Guys That Magic.
David
we hate each other.
He's so argumentative.
I mean, he brings up a solid point. This card's not that great.
This card's great. I like it a lot. Why is it not great?
Tell us your opinion.
Go ahead.
Because I agree with David on this. I mean, you're wasting your turns. You're not utilizing your mana to the proper point. I feel like no. There are other cards that do what this card does better. Like, it literally costs 2 black mana.
That's great then, I guess. We're not arguing anymore.
Move on to the grades. I'm giving it a B. I'm high on it. I like it a lot.
Okay, I wasn't gonna go that high.
I guess I'll jump in here. I'm going to give this an F. I think this actually might be less playable than the colorless creature we talked about last time.
Oh, I wasn't gonna
You
go that
are
low.
so ridiculous, like,
Jesus.
dude.
Like,
He just
no,
has, like,
legit.
oh.
I'm not even being argumentative on this one. I'm not trying to be that guy. I just look at like, I would rather play literally anything else in my command zone than something like this. He works counterintuitively. He eats my board to pump my board.
Make zombies. Make things that will die eventually. Make some decayed zombies. You can make a whole bunch of different types of tokens.
I can, and I can bloat up all those counters on my decayed zombies, swing in with them once, and then they die because they have decayed. I think your example here is awful.
No, I'm saying use something that will die regardless. I'm saying as fodder to pump up your team.
I just don't see it. I'm
Build around it.
I'm standing on the F.
Hey Shane, you want to meet me in the middle at C?
He's dying on the hill. Yeah, I'll go to see.
All right, C's.
All right. Well, that average, David, you try to bring it way down. Still going to be a C.
Didn't try to. Spoke my feelings.
Next up, we have Astor, Bearer of Blades. Astor, Bearer of Blades is 2, a red and a white for a 4/4 legendary creature human warrior. It says when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal an equipment or vehicle from among them. Put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Equipment you control have equipped 1. Vehicles you control have crew 1. This seems very good. Boros. Boros
Boros
equipment.
sucks, Hunter.
Yeah, we've seen the Boros equipment thing already. I mean, what was the name of that commander that was from?
Any set?
Dwarf guy?
Any Boros precon deck is equipment tribal.
Cheap
I
crew, though,
have him.
seems kind of good, right? It's if you want to go crew. Or vehicles, I guess, in your deck.
Yeah, the crewing of 1 with vehicles seems very good. I like that a lot.
This does seem kind of pre-con-y, though.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, look, the ability on it. So, like, whenever he enters the battlefield, you're going to be able to more than likely be able to grab a card since you're digging that deep. He works really well with Flicker. He does amazing jobs whenever it comes to both equipment and for vehicles, and they're like significant reduction for either equip or crew. You can load him up and you can play him Voltron, or you could actually try to go wide with a bunch of vehicles with him. So I think he's a little bit better than your typical Boros equipment commander. I'm actually not opposed to this card.
It's not that bad. Steve?
N.
The card I was referencing, the other commander, was Osgear the Reconstructor. He was the artifact type theme.
Dude, Osgear's so good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. But once again, Boros with artifacts.
I mean, I think this card's pretty solid. I think it does exactly what it needs to. The vehicles aspect of this is really amazing. Equipments you control have equipped 1. You're running a deck that's meant to go search for equipments and vehicles. So I mean, this is solid.
Agreed.
All right, let's move on to the grades real quick then. I'm going to give this a B once again.
I'm going to join you, man. I'm actually going to give this a B as well. I think 4 mana 4/4 that lets you look at the top 7 cards of your library, and you're able to do shit with that immediately is pretty solid.
I'm going to give it a C. I like how it digs. I like its abilities. If this thing does die, then your equipment and your vehicles are still going to have their normal crew or equip cost. At the end of the day, I feel like he's either vehicle tribal and go wide, which you need a bunch of creatures to make that function, or you put the pants on him, in which case, hope he doesn't die to removal.
True. I think I'll stick with B with you boys, though. I do think that it's pretty strong.
Alrighty, that average here for Astor is a B. Next up, we have Ayesha Tenaka, Armorer. Ayesha Tenaka Armorer is 3, a white and a blue for a 2/4 legendary creature human artificer. It says whenever she attacks, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may put any number of artifacts with mana value less than or equal to Ayesha's power from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Ayesha can't be blocked as long as defending player controls 3 or more artifacts. That last ability is so good.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So good. because everyone is running artifacts in EDH nowadays. Treasures, mana rocks, not impossible to be always unblocked.
I just hate 5 cost anything in the command zone. Am I weird? I don't know.
That is weird.
No, I actually think he brings up a good point here because this is a 5-drop that wants to be attacking.
And
It's kind of slow for a deck that wants to be attacking.
I feel like, look at this.
Put boots on her.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's still a 5-drop that wants to attack.
I love the fact that anytime we talk about cards, we have the perfect hand.
I mean,
No.
says the guy that always has Soul Ring. Shut up.
There's a difference there with him just magically always having that cheater. And us talking about magical Christmas land cards.
I don't think
Magical
boots are
Christmas.
magical Christmas line, but
Magical
I
Christmas loves this card, okay?
I also don't understand, like, okay, put the boots on her. What the hell does that do for me? It gives her haste?
and
If
you
you-
can't
if-
target her. Yeah.
Okay. I get it. It's still a 5-drop. Like, look, here's my thought. The ability on this obviously very much so is strong. She's going to be unblockable 99% of the time. She has very, very powerful abilities. Being able to look at the top 4 cards and being able to fuel your artifact theme on top of that is huge. She's a very powerful commander. She's still a 5-drop that needs to be able to swing.
Agreed.
I think this is a good Voltron commander.
I don't think I would play it in Voltron. I think I would honestly play this more on like trying to build around a stack where I could potentially maybe try to fucking rush her out, start swinging in, and then just like flood artifact hate, or just like flood my artifacts to just like hate out your deck.
I did imagine you can pump her up just a little bit, so you can grab stuff that are greater than 2.
That's what I'm saying, dude. You just go ahead and start throwing some equipment down on the field. Start attack. I mean, even though they come in tapped, just attach it immediately on your main phase 2. That is.
I'll say it's got potential.
I think there's 2 different opinions here, so we should probably move to the grades to see the differences.
Okay. Well, I'm giving it a B. I'm on the B train all through these cards so far. Sticking with it.
Skipping that train. Oh, this is a C.
Steven and I know what's up. This card is a C. It's got a high ceiling, but it's slow to start.
Well, I think Hunter and I are hanging on the B train then.
Bwomp bwomp. Get it? Because B.
It's not
All
for
right.
X-Hand, dude.
That average is a B. This next one is Baird, Argivian Recruiter. Baird, Argivian Recruiter is a red and a white for a 2/2 legendary creature human soldier. This is the beginning of your end step. If you control a creature with power greater than its base power, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Boros, Dave, what do we think?
I genuinely am struggling. I don't remember ever seeing this card get spoiled.
That's because it's uncommon.
Yeah, we didn't see.
Like, I've even got notes on this thing. It's like I'm seeing it for the first time. It's Boros, go wide.
Yes.
Based on that, I know that you love it. I'm not super high.
Hey man, just put 1 Thalia in here and you start making 1/1s. It's great.
I don't know. I don't know if I can get on board with this, Hunter.
Wait, no,
I'm just-
you make a 1/1 per turn cycle.
Yeah, that's bad, Hunter.
This card's
This
fucking
is-
awful, dude.
The more I look at this, the more I hate it. Actually, I'm gonna vomit.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I was looking at this and I was like, man, this is kind of cool. And then like I kept reading it over and over again, and I was like, what?
I actually don't. I don't know
What is
why I
wrong
said
with me?
Thalia either, because
Yeah,
this
because
it has
it's-
to be. Has
yeah.
to be. I thought it was higher power than toughness, but it's just higher power than its base power. So you have to put something on this to get it bigger. Move on to grades.
Sure, let's get out of here, dude. I'm scared.
Shane, what do you think?
I don't think it's playable, bud. Or at least I don't want to play it. I'm gonna give it a D.
Oh, I've been on the B train this whole time. I'm going straight to the bottom. This is an F for me. Sorry, Boros guy.
You know it's bad whenever a Boros card gets a fucking F from Hunter.
Well, it's not the only F being given out today. I'm giving it an F.
I too will be giving it an F.
This average is our first F of the video. Going to the next one, we have Balmor Battle Mage Captain. Balmor Battle Mage Captain is a blue and a red for a 1/3 legendary creature bird wizard. It has flying. It says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until end of turn.
Fucking amazing.
Wow.
What a swap from the last card, dude.
Wow.
Are you saying this is not an F?
No.
All your
Do
creatures get prowess, kind of?
Do elaborate.
So you're an Izzet Spellslinger deck. This is a 2-mana 1/3 with flying. You cast one instant, everything gets trample and +1. Oh god, I'm fucking moist.
I can read. I got it.
I mean, that's all you need to read, man.
I love you.
Okay.
Put this in a deck with things like Young Pyromancer or what is the 4-mana blue merfolk dude that makes a 2/2 Drake so they put in like every precon?
Tolerant.
There you go. Yep. You throw Talrend in there. There's a couple other cards out there that care about like you spell slinging and make creatures based off of that. So throw those in there. Throw an anger in there. You start having things with haste. They get big as shit. You start making tons of them. I love this card.
It seems really good. I'll just piggyback on what you guys said. I don't really have too much to say other than it's good.
Yeah, dude, plus even just throw a Goblin Electromancer in there too.
It's the
Okay.
best.
It's the best. I love it. Shane, you got anything to say to it?
I don't have anything else to add. I just think that we've said it all. Nutty
All right.
McButterson, dude.
Then let's move on to the grades. I'm giving it a B.
Oh, I'm gonna get some hate. I'm gonna give it an A.
Hey, wop, 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 wop.
I think he's wrong in that. I don't quite think it's at an A range for me, so I'm going to give it a B, but I don't think an A would be like absurd.
I think that I would have said B if the fact that it says all creatures you control, and then also they gain trample. I think the trample really sets us apart.
I'm giving this the B as well. This is a stud.
Well, this average is going to be a B. Next up, Bortuk Bonerattle. Bortuk Bonerattle is for a black and a green for a 4/4 legendary creature, Troll Shaman. It has domain. It says whenever Bortuk Bonerattle enters the battlefield, if you cast it, choose target creature card in your graveyard. Return that card to the battlefield if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of basic land types among lands you control. Otherwise, put it in your hand. So as a commander, this can only get you something that's cost 2.
I'm just so confused as to why anyone would ever play this as opposed to Mirren.
This is a troll, and it has badass artwork.
Dude, this card is so bad.
Yeah, this card is extremely
It
bad.
has to enter the battlefield. You have to cast this card.
Oh, if you cast it.
Yeah,
All right, yeah,
if
let's
you
move
can.
on.
All right, let's move on to the grades. I think we're all just kind of really down on all Bortuk Bonerattle. So, Dave, start us off.
Do it,
Probably
David.
not going to be as low as all of you. I'm going to give it a D because I at least see that like there's potential there. If you do manage to generate infinite mana, which is not impossible, I could see this as like a food chain style deck where you dump your graveyard into, you dump your library into the graveyard, and then you just combo off and win by your recursion.
Yeah, I don't care. F.
I'm still going to give it a D.
Yeah, this is an F for me too.
I'm gonna give it an F as well, boys.
We got another F. This average is an F. This next card is Elas Il-Kor. Elas Il-Kor, Sadistic Pilgrim. He is 1 white and 1 black for a 2/2 legendary creature, Phyrexian Core Cleric. It's got Death Touch. It says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Kind of reminds me of the Shieldred that was also spoiled from this set, based on the fact that you can draw, gain a life, they draw, you lose 2 life, same situation kind of thing, except with creatures under your control, which is not as good.
I think this one's much better.
Much better.
Go ahead and talk to me.
I'm actually gonna let Steven take it away here because I think he's very excited about this card.
I've been waiting for a card like this, dude. Like this being the commander in a really low cost deck with Luris of the Dream Den as a companion is going to fucking go nuts. I specifically have not built a deck in a while and like wait in anticipation for this deck. And I cannot wait to build.
You haven't built a deck in anticipation for a card like this, you mean?
Yeah. This is perfect, dude.
I'm not going to build a deck until a card that I've been waiting for comes out.
Yeah.
How interesting.
I think a lot of people are going to sleep on this and it's going to blow up, dude. I'm telling you right now.
Tell you what, something that goes really good with this is actually a background that you can put in the deck. Ancient of the Iron Throne. It says whenever an artifact or creature you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses a life. So it's kind of just like doubling that trigger.
You know what else is really good in this deck? Selfless Spirit.
Selfless Spirit. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, I'd look at it like this. On one part of it, it's a Soul Sister, which is totally fine. There's tons of ways for you to be able to weaponize life gain. The other part of it, it's a Blood Artist, which actually not even a Blood Artist. It's more of like a Zulaport Cutthroat because it's like each opponent is going to lose one life. I think this card is fucking nuts, especially the fact that it's a 2-drop. Your opponents are going to have to, like, they're not going to have the opportunity to deal with this because it's going to come down. It's immediately going to start the affect the board. It's also got Death Touch, so they're not going to swing at you for it either. I think this card is fucking insane, and I'm 100% with Steven. I would love to build a deck around this.
It's like CDH levels?
No, I don't think this is CDH.
No.
I think this is just, it's very efficient at what it does. And I think that it's a card that, like, you cannot sleep on this. This is a card that's not going to generate a lot of hate. It's incredibly easy to recast, and it's going to start affecting the game immediately.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, dude.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I fully am on board with this being nuts. I just was trying to... I didn't mean to say... Let me rephrase this. This is better than the Shieldred.
He did it.
I did it. I flopped. Let's move on to the
I
grades.
flopped.
Steven, what are you giving
I'll
it?
start us off with the A-est of A's.
I am going to join you. This is my first A. I'm giving it.
Oh.
David really wants to go last, Shane.
Okay, this is a B.
I'm going to give this thing a B. I don't quite think it's A territory, but it is definitely a very high B for me.
Well, this average is going to be an A. This next card is Ertai Resurrected. Ertai Resurrected is 2, a blue and a black for a 3/2 legendary creature for Phyrexian Human Wizard. It has Flash. It says when it enters the battlefield, choose up to 1. You can either counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. Its controller draws a card. Or you can destroy another target creature or planeswalker. Its controller draws a card. Interesting.
Can we
Yeah,
have
very
Shane
interested.
start with this? Because, like, I
Yeah,
feel
'cause-
like this is right up his alley, and he's going to hate it for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, because I don't think it does anything. Like, I get that it's a counter that I always have access to. That's good. I get that it could kill spell, but after like twice, unless you're gonna like flicker it, shit's gonna get expensive, man. And giving my opponent a card doesn't seem the greatest. Like, your boy Steven is the Demir. I like not Demir, but I
This
don't know.
card's great.
Yeah, I think it's good. I just don't think that I'm gonna coom over it.
I think this card's fantastic. I mean, is this like the Demir card that I would like to run in the command zone? Not particularly. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, to have a flash creature in the command zone that at any moment you can go ahead and counter a target spell or activated ability or just destroy a target creature or planeswalker, I think that's pretty solid. But at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, I think you're just, I don't want this, I think the way I'm trying to say this is that I'm talking about this deck as if you're building this to be a counter spell in your command zone and then just basically try and win with the other 99, but I don't know.
It's an interesting card. I don't want to help my opponents, though. I don't like the card draw aspect.
It's one
kinda-
card.
I understand. It's one card they get, all right? And you're definitely showing that you have a counter
Yes.
ready and on standby. So
That is the point of Dimir.
No, that's the point of this card being in your command zone.
I always want to make you afraid to play whatever you want.
Yeah, no, but realistically, this is showing straight up I have a counter active.
If I have
so it's no longer
more
a
than
bluff,
2
is it?
mana up and it's both blue, it's a bluff or it's a counter spell. Whether
This
it's in
is
my
not a
command
bluff.
zone, I understand. But just because it's seen or not seen, if you see blue at the table and there's mana up, you are literally worried.
Because there's the chance, but I'm saying there's no chance right here. This is 100% a counter spell.
I've been waiting so patiently.
Go ahead, Dave.
You're doing great, Dave.
This card is fucking broken. I think this card is nuts. It skews the board state, or like it skews the overall play pattern immediately because you have to recognize, yes, your opponent has a counter spell and a removal spell. It just has access to it immediately. Well, not immediately, but they're always going to have access to it with it being in the command zone. Also, you turds haven't noticed, it doesn't say anywhere on this card that you have to interact with your opponent's things. So if your opponent uses a kill spell on one of your things, you can go ahead, throw this in play with this flash ability, kill your own thing, their stuff will fizzle, and then you draw a card. You can be the target of that card draw.
I'd rather draw 2 cards.
What?
I'd rather draw 2 cards with 1 black mana than 4 mana draw 1 card.
My point here being is this is your commander. You can also like completely abuse this with any kind of blink effect. Also, its controller draws a card. If your opponent has enough things in play, you can start shotgunning through their deck. And if they do end up getting low enough, it's not a may ability, it's a must ability. I mean, it's not impossible for you to mill your opponent to death with this if you're building this in like a mill deck. Like it's almost player B's turn. Like, and on player A's end step, you shotgun through this and you blink this a couple times and then just be able to, like, I don't know, have that opponent draw 10 cards or something like that. Like, that's a poor, I don't know. I feel like that's very situational, but at least it's a part of the card. I think I would want to use this as just kind of like constantly politic and fuck with my opponents. And then the upside there being able to blanket whenever the fuck I want to just deal with anything problematic. Plus, you can also use cards like Narset or Notion Thief in it, where you're going to shut down their card draw and you draw the card instead.
Yeah, I don't see this being broken in any way yet. You're not selling me, Dave.
Destroy target permanent they control, you draw 2 cards.
Sure. In Magical Christmas Land.
Or like even just something like a Consecrated Sphinx. Like, I look at it like
how
this.
do you say Magical Christmas Land, but then you brought up the point where you rather
I'm being facetious
sacrifice
against
and
him,
then.
dickhead.
Well, I know, but that's what, like, we always talk about having the perfect cards in our hand. Like,
Yeah, well, if he's calling it out on me, I'm calling it out on him.
I'm not saying that you're always going to have it. I'm just saying that, like, it is situational, obviously, but this card has additional upside with its synergies. I think that this card on the surface, for me being able to say, you know what, hey, I'm going to let you draw a card, but I'm going to counter that board wipe whenever I really don't want things to be or I don't want to have a board wipe. I'm going to be able to destroy that fucking creature that is, like, absolutely wrecking my face. And you know what? You could draw into another creature, but you can also draw into a fucking land or something completely irrelevant here.
True.
Let's move on to the grades.
All right.
He's not done.
I think Dave has said his piece.
I have.
I'm going to give this a C. Middle of the road.
I'm going to give it a C as well.
I think you're both wrong, and I'm going to give this a B.
I'm with Steven. I'm going to give this a B as well. I love the flexibility.
All right. Well,
you're pretty flexible.
I think you guys have missed
yoga.
The biggest thing about this card.
He's got 4 arms.
Is that this is literally Machamp.
Yeah, 4 arms. So this average is a B. Moving on to Garna, Blood Fist of Keld. Garna, Blood Fist of Keld is 1 a black and 2 red for a 4/3 legendary creature human berserker. It says whenever another creature you control dies, draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, Garna, Blood Fist of Keld deals 1 damage to each opponent. This is weird, Dave. Mr. Rakdos, what do you think?
You attack and sack.
Okay, can you continue?
Yeah, so it's like it doesn't say non-token anywhere. So like you play this and you generate a bunch of tokens, maybe a bunch of like goblins. You attack in with them, and then you sack them all to one of the I don't know dozens of options that you have access to in red black to draw a shit ton of cards. Or if you're not during your combat step, you just ping each opponent.
It's true. You are
I'm-
correct. That's what the card does.
I mean, yeah, I mean that is literally what the card does. But I look at it like there is chances here where like in a single combat step, like you're drawing 5 cards. Or if your opponent goes to go board wipe something, just like nuke your board and drain their life. Well, not drain their life, but ping their life repeatedly.
Just still draining.
I mean, you're not gaining any life off of it.
Okay, fair. Steven, what do you think?
I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of this. Maybe it's just because I don't play Rakdos. I get it. I understand it. I definitely agree with the points David's making. I don't. I see this. I read it. I don't want to play it.
See it,
Fair enough.
read it, don't want it. What do you think, Shane?
Well, let's see who gets more kills, dude.
Oh.
I'm just reading flavor text. It seems fine. It seems like there are other cards that do this exact same thing, right? Something dies, you ping. Maybe not the drawing card aspect. That might be different, but put like a Zulaport, put just a bunch of things that care about things dying. Blood Artist. You can have a deck. I see it.
Yeah. I think it's pretty good. I'm kind of a fan of this. It's the whole Rakdos sack thing that it always wants to do, right, Dave?
Pretty much. It's its go-to mechanic.
Let's move on to the grades. I will say, though, still middle of the road. It's going to be a C for me.
I'm gonna join you there, sir. I'm gonna give this a C as well.
I'll probably
B
give it a
all the
C as
way.
well. Oh, you
God
fucking switched on me,
Damn
you
it,
dickhead.
Shane.
You're supposed to be quiet, you fuck.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give it a C as well.
I'm going to give it a C as well.
Could have sworn you said B all the way.
He did.
No,
No,
I
it's
said C all the way. My grade right here even says C on the thing. It's middle of the road. It's fine. It does a thing, but it's a C.
Well, 4 Cs. That average grade for Garna is a C. This next one is General Marhault Elsdragon. General Marhault Elsdragon is 2, a red and a green for a 4/4 legendary creature elf warrior. It says when a creature you control becomes blocked, it gets +3/+3 until end of turn for each creature blocking it. I feel like you got to do some interesting shenanigans to force blocks here.
I'm not about this life.
I think this is great. What are you guys talking about?
Very boring.
It's different.
What do you mean it's boring?
You said it yourself. If you can't have someone force block, like you're on the whim of your opponent, like okay, so unless it literally says you must block them, I'm just gonna be like, cool.
Yeah, whenever a
Cool.
creature you control becomes blocked, it gets +3/+3 until end of turn for each creature blocking it. So
Right.
basically, you're sending something that, if they block, will probably die. Because at minimum, it's what, a 4/4? It's a 1/1.
Most of the
That's
times, people block to prevent large damage regardless.
yeah.
Unless it has
So
trample, I don't give a fuck.
this is in red and green. So at instant speed, you can give something a lot of power, infect, and trample.
We're going to Christmas Land, boys.
Um,
Listen here, village rights.
This card, you could get rid of all of its abilities and just make it a 4-mana 7/7 just all the time, and I still wouldn't play it.
You don't say.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this card. Steven, I think you're the only fan, so let's move on to grades. I want to hear your grade.
A. Just because I'm the only
Fuck
fan.
off, dude.
Give it a real grade.
Let me subscribe to your OnlyFans, dude.
You can find me on Feet Finder. I'll give it a B.
B. Wow, that's high. I'm giving it a D.
I'm giving it a D as well.
AMZs, I'm going to give it a D.
Well, that average, because he gave it such a high grade, it is a C.
Good.
Whoa.
Yeah. Moving on. We are going to Hazezon, Shaper of Sand. Hazezon, Shaper of Sand is a Red, green, white for a 3/3 legendary creature human warrior. It has Desert Walk. Says you may play desert lands from your graveyard. And whenever a desert enters the battlefield under your control, create 2 1/1 red, green, and white sand warrior creature tokens.
I love the flavor text on this card.
I don't see any.
The whole box there.
Oh, you're a joker. Okay, I was like, I literally don't see it.
He's funny. Deserts, dude. Desert Tribal.
How many deserts are there, David?
There's 20.
I didn't
How many
ask
of them
you.
are in red, green, and white?
16 deserts, Dave.
Actually, significantly higher number than what I was expecting you to say. I know I just shit on this card about the whole like flavor text joke. Desert Walk actually is flavor text because that's never going to happen. That's never going to be relevant. Being able to play the deserts from your graveyard is, I think, actually kind of better than what it reads because a lot of the deserts sack and go to the graveyard on their own. So I mean, like, I use a token generator that I guess is going to make sure that you hit your land drops.
Make him landfall. That'd be cool. Build a bunch of landfall triggers.
I'm gonna say something, and I want everyone to continue to watch the video and don't leave immediately. But land destruction? Question mark. What's some land recursion in this, dude?
Specifically
gross.
deserts.
I mean, even if it's not just specifically deserts, if you are flooding your library, so you have a bunch of those deserts that you can play. I mean, you said there's what, like 15, 16 in the colors? I mean,
16.
I like it. He is a pseudo Crucible of Worlds stapled onto the commander. And you are in the color combination to play land destruction.
It's true. That is a thing.
You know what? Actually, now that Steven mentioned it, thank you, Steven. I agree.
Oh, what a flip flop.
Now, don't get me wrong. Desert Walk is still not a thing.
No, it's not.
I agree.
Can you force your opponent to have a desert?
I don't think you can give them a land. You know what,
Sand?
though?
Cool.
There's only one way to find out. I'm going to have to be, I'm going to have to build this. I'll take it over for the next time that we play. Let's do land destruction. You guys love when we play land destruction.
I really don't.
It's actually Steven's deck.
Yeah, I know you guys love that deck. One desert that I see come up quite often is Scavenger Grounds. That's a pretty good desert that you see in a lot of decks sometimes.
Did you guys know that because of this card, this is Hazezon has been printed before? This sand is a creature type?
No.
Now you do.
Wow, cool fact. Let's go to grades.
Okay, moving on to the grades. I'm sticking with a C.
I'm going to give this a B. I think land destruction on this is pretty sick. To be honest with you, I think that's the only way I would like to see this deck played.
I am going to still say a C.
I'm going to say this is actually a D, even with the land destruction.
Wow.
No.
I saw it coming. It's fine.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the idea, and you definitely talked me into a direction with this deck, so props to you, Steven. I just think as a card, probably not my favorite.
Well, that average here is going to be a C. Next up, Ivy Gleeful Spellthief. Ivy Gleeful Spellthief is a green and a blue for a 2/1 legendary creature fairy rogue. It has flying. It says whenever a player casts a spell that targets only a single creature other than Ivy, you may copy that spell. The copy targets Ivy. As someone that loves to play Zada, this is the opposite. And I don't think this is as good as Zada at all.
Oh?
So I'm going to ask a question, and the answer will basically sway how I feel about this. Enchantment auras. Do those trigger here?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, this is a great fucking card.
Interesting.
Your aura creates a token, or yeah, she'll create a token of that aura, and then the copy of it will equip to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is phenomenal.
That's pretty interesting.
It's cheap. It's got evasion. You can definitely pump the shit out of it. It's also says whenever a player, by the way. So if your opponents are playing pump spells, like you can just take a copy of your own.
Okay, here's another fun aspect. Mutate question mark?
I don't know how the fuck that works. We're getting weird.
We're weird, dude.
Shane, what do you think of the card?
I think it's very, very playable. And I like me Simic, baby. So I think it's strong. I don't really know like edge cases because I'm not Googling cards, but I would play it. I would play and have fun with it.
Yeah, this is really
Yeah.
strong.
I think we can move on to grades.
I love how when the
Uh,
card is inherently strong, we just blow by it.
I mean, same thing whenever it inherently sucks ass.
Yeah. we
Yeah,
don't
I'm
have-
going to say that mutation works because it says whenever a player casts a spell that targets only a single creature.
Mutate isn't a. Well,
You want to backtrack there? I mean, pretty much next to the mutate in parentheses is if you cast this spell for its mutate cost.
I don't know necessarily how that would work. Like, yeah, you could potentially be able to abuse ETBs.
I mean, Gem Razor,
mean-
when the creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment. You can do that twice.
Yeah. Ultimately, I don't like you're still only gonna get the power and toughness of like I think just one of them.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, essentially, you're just trying to do it for the double triggers.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I agree. It can definitely be abused.
Abused.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to grades now. David, what do you feel?
I'm still kind of middle of the road on this. Even at absolute best, like you put the pants on it, you make it really, really big, or like you just target repeatedly. I don't know. I feel like there's a window where your opponents can jump in and kill it or counter it or do something. I love the fact that it's only a 2-drop and it has evasion stapled onto it. So I'm gonna give it a B. Let's go with that.
You know, I think I'm going to join you there just because it is a 2-drop. I'm not a big fan that it's a 2/1, but it has flying, and I think with all the aspects we've spoken about so far, I really do enjoy what this card can do. Shane,
Me? I think I'd give it
You.
a. I think I'd give it like a B.5, dude.
B.5, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. Solid.
I'm
Yeah.
giving it a B. I like it.
All right, well, with that, I do believe that is the average of B.
My man.
Of B. Next up, Jasmine Boreal of the 7. Jasmine Boreal of the 7 is 1 a green and a white for a 2/4 legendary creature human druid. You can tap her, add a green and a white, spend this mana only to cast creature spells with no abilities. And creatures you control with no abilities can't be blocked by creatures with abilities.
Shane,
did
you
you-
love vanilla tribal.
I'll take this one, boys. So, I know all about playing creatures that are vanilla. Let me tell you, that deck sucked ass. So this card is probably not gonna be good.
I think it's
I'm just going to go ahead
a lot
and
better.
say, David, go ahead and read your notes on this, and let's move to grades.
Oh, I said this is a meme. Don't play bad cards hoping to make bad cards good cards.
All right, Hunter, take it away to grades.
I'm not taking it away the grades because I think this card's pretty good.
Oh, my God.
And I'm not trolling because nobody really plays anything in Commander that doesn't have an ability on it, right? Always going to have an ability. So all your creatures can't be blocked? That seems pretty good.
I mean, what if the ability of my creature is that it destroys your commander?
Okay, again, we're talking about Commander. Of course, we're going to kill each other's commanders. That's the idea of the game.
But then you're stuck with a deck of just creatures with nothing.
What are you talking about?
If you don't have this commander in play, your creatures are just vanilla.
Sure.
Actually, they're still going to be vanilla, but then they're going to be like extra vanilla because they can still be blocked and they can't actually do shit.
God,
Huh?
double vanilla.
Give them flying. Give them anything you want. Pump them up. Give them trample.
Then they're not vanilla anymore. Then they have an ability.
They have equipment. Equipment, friends. Equipment is not putting in abilities. Equipment is you're holding a hammer.
If the ability has a, or if the equipment has an ability, then like that is pretty common, yeah.
Yeah, if it says equipped creature has flying, guess what? Creature has flying.
It has
Okay,
to literally
fine.
just say it gets +1/+1 because that's not an ability, right?
Guys, we're doing it again.
This card's
Why?
bad. Let's go to grades. Jesus.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
It's an F.
Whoa.
This is a C.
You know what, dude? Just because I was gonna give this a D, but fucking F.
I gotta stick with D.
All right. That average here is a D. Moving on. This is Jedit Ojanen Mercenary. Jedit Ojanen Mercenary is 1 a white and a blue for a 3/3 legendary creature cat mercenary. It says whenever him or another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay a green. If you do, create a 2/2 green cat warrior creature token with forest walk. Very, very interesting.
Card's sick.
Whenever
ahead.
it or another legend.
Yeah, whenever it enters, you may pay a green. You do make a 2/2. I like the
Yeah.
flexibility just to put that little green pip to give it color identity. Green as well.
Yeah, doesn't stop at like once a turn. It's any turn. Doesn't have to be yours. You can play flash shit. You can flicker something in at somebody's end step. Like this is. I'm high on this.
You're just high.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
All right,
Dave,
David, shit
are
on it.
you ever gonna talk, Dave? Come on now.
I thought we were good. Everything that has to be said about this card has already been said. You put it in a flicker deck, you pay a fucking obscene amount of mana to be able to flicker it and to use its ability. Wait a second, if you don't pay the green, this doesn't do anything.
Oops.
Well, shit. It's a mana-hungry commander, so I'm either casting cards from my deck to make it do the thing, or I'm spending the green to make it do the thing. I don't like this card.
Blue and white. Green.
Those are its colors.
Dude? Yeah, so are we just saying colors now?
Green ramps, so you can definitely have the green mana to do stuff. I'm just doing that thing that David does where he just talks about certain things, and blue allows you to like draw cards so you can find everything you need, and white, you can put stuff in and
Let's
make treasures.
move into the grades. Steven, you said you were high on this. What do you
Yep.
give it?
I'm gonna give it a B.
I'm giving this a D. I'm not high on it.
I'm going to give it a D as well. You have to make this thing go infinite with mana and flickers to make it do anything relevant.
I'm giving it a D.
You guys are so wrong, dude.
Unfortunately,
Okay,
though,
Steven.
once again, Steven brings that average up to a C.
Damn it, Steven.
Welcome to the channel, boys.
Next up, we have Jhoira, Ageless Innovator. Jhoira, Ageless Innovator is a blue and a red for a 2/3 legendary creature human artificer. You can tap it, put 2 ingenuity counters on Jhoira, Ageless Innovator. Then you may put an artifact card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield, where X is the number of ingenuity counters on Jhoira.
David, take it away.
We're not going to have much to say about this card.
Don't let David take it away. Like we all know here that the card is really good, and he's just gonna say all the smart things, and then we're just gonna go, "Yep," and then we're gonna go next.
All right,
What if-
Shane.
what
Shane,
if I
tell me
don't
the
like
smart things.
All right, dude, ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna play this in CEDH. Ask me why, David.
Okay, why?
Because I'm gonna cheat out all my things. That's all I
I
got.
don't-
I mean like
know.
the free artifacts you play in CDH already?
Yeah, but now they're gonna be super free.
Wait. I don't like your explanation at all.
It hurts me.
I did it,
I
boys.
was hoping for something so much better.
That's all I got.
All right, well, you heard it here. That's everything she does.
You're gonna play the free stuff for freer.
Yep. It's like them double vanillas we talked about earlier. All right, well, I don't even know what to say.
Make it past the turn now.
David, go ahead and tell us more about this card.
I don't want to. Shane already wrapped it up, dude.
You, please?
He said, please.
She comes down super early. She's a 2-drop. Also, for whatever fucking reason, she's a 2/3, so she's like overstatted for a blue-red creature anyways. You tap her, you make her just like absolutely nutty. You can proliferate a fuck ton in these colors to begin with. You're just going to be dropping huge artifacts for free super, super quick, and your opponents are just going to have to play catch-up or deal with her immediately.
I agree.
This card is insane.
Yeah, this
That's
card
what I,
is
that's what I said.
nuts. This card is nuts, man. Just imagine some of the big bombs you just throw down for free.
Mana Crypt.
See? Freer. It's freer, dude.
You're
Mana
right.
Crypt. Love it. Yeah,
We
dude,
broke.
put a sad robot for free. Boom.
Whoa.
We broke the card. Put in a fucking mana crypt, dude. Yep. It now costs 0.
Moving on to the grades. It's an A. Solid A.
I'm gonna join you. This is an A.
This is the best card in the set. This is an A.
Wow, that's a lie, but yes, I agree with the A.
This is an A, boys, all the way. Because I know CEDH.
There you go, dude. What a player.
Freer, dude.
This average grade for Jhoira is an A. Next up, we have a Unifier. This is Jodah the Unifier. The Jodah the Unifier is Wooburg. That is white, blue, black, red, green for a 5/5 legendary creature human wizard. It says legendary creatures you control get +X, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. And whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. For the rest, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. A lot of people high on this card.
Yeah, I
For
think
good
this is the
reasons.
only. I think this is the only like 5-color commander that I've seen from this set that I've actually enjoyed.
Really?
Yep.
Pro tip for all of y'all listening at home who are just now starting to play this game, go out and buy that 5-color tribal legendary shit thing that they sold for the commander precon this year. Kick out the commander and throw this one in as the commander, and boom, you fixed the deck.
You did not fix the deck whatsoever.
Yeah, you just it's super easy. You fix the deck.
Don't do that. There's so much wrong with that deck.
Hunter, you're being such a Debbie Downer right now.
Okay.
He is the one who did have to do the upgrade video on it, so.
Yeah, you fixed the deck, right?
Mm.
I mean, this card's great. Do we really have to talk about it?
Nope, he cascades.
Yeah, Cascade is such a beautiful mechanic.
Legendary.
Not only that, but everything legendary gets, or your legendary creatures get +X. So I mean, that's just solid, dude.
Just needs to get trample, right, Dave? Otherwise, you just run it into something that can block with a little 1/1.
No.
Not this time.
No, it doesn't say anything here about how it has to be a legendary creature. Oh, you were talking about the first ability. I don't actually care too much about that one. That's not why I like this card.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just talking about that first ability. But yes.
Are we
The
unified on the grades? Question mark.
The Unifier. Let's find out. Steven, start us off.
B. Solid B card right here.
I'm joining you. This is a B.
This is
Shane?
most definitely a B.
All right, here we go, David. Don't.
It's the best card in the set. I'm gonna give it an A.
You're such a
Weird.
dick.
It's 5-color good stuff at absolute worst with a cascade ability stapled onto it. This card's insane.
Are you sticking with A?
I'm sticking with A.
Whoa.
Oh, 2 A's back to back, David. What the fuck?
That is going to be an average of a B, however.
I'm going
Jodah.
to take his drink away from him. Getting crazy.
Hey,
Fun fact, it's water tonight.
Oh.
This next card is King Darien the 48th. King Darien the 48th is 1 a green and a white for a 2/3 legendary creature human soldier. Says other creatures you control get +1/+1. You can also pay 3 a green and a white to put a 1/1 counter on King Darien and create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. You can also sacrifice King Darien. Creature tokens you control gain hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. I'm going to start us off by talking about this because I've done so many of these upgrade precon videos with the green-white token counter strategy that this is just the same. Again, but this one has built-in protection for all of those tokens. So it's good? Question mark? You tell me, Dave.
We've seen this same kind of like strategy, I feel, dozens of times, and I can completely agree with you. I think this may be the best commander for those I've ever seen. He makes your tokens, he makes them big, he makes everything just big to begin with. And then whenever your opponents try to deal with your shit, sack him. Like I don't know what else to say here. Is like I think this may very well be the best green white go wide strategy I have ever seen.
Wait, what are you sacking?
Him. He sacrifices himself to give your creatures hexproof and indestructible.
Yeah.
And as a 3-drop, like he's cheap to recast.
Yeah. I don't know, man. XL fucking 8, not good, dude.
XL8.
Whoa.
Kind of Roman numeral-ish there, Shane. Good job.
Very clearly King Darien XLVIII.
XLVIII. Steven, what do you think of this?
Yeah, no, this card is great though. Other creatures get +1/+1/+1. I'm not that high on the pain 5, but at the end of the day, you're playing green, so ramp isn't that bad. But the third ability here is the fucking haymaker of this card, 100%. Like nothing short of a farewell here. You know what I mean?
Oh boy, do I.
Well, farewell exiles.
That's what I'm saying. Like nothing. You need a farewell.
Yeah, I
Well,
think he's solid. Want to go to grades?
let's go to the grades. Dave, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it a B.
I'm going to give it a C. Maybe that's biased of me being tired of seeing this effect over and over, but I think it does the same thing that I've seen.
Yeah. Speaking of being biased, I'm gonna give this a B.
I'm gonna give it a C. You later.
See you later, because he sacks himself, right? I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
This average here is going to be a B. Moving on, we have Lagomos, Hand of Hatred. Lagomos, Hand of Hatred is 1, a black and a red for a 1/3 legendary creature human shaman. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. You can tap this, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Activate only if 5 or more creatures died this turn. Rakdos player, Dave.
Wah, wah.
I don't like this card at all. The first ability doesn't fuel into the second. It really does nothing for me. Sure, you're sacrificing it, but I don't give a shit. The second ability on this, like, you're not going to have 5 or more creatures die in a single turn unless you're nuking your board or there's a board wipe, in which case he's not surviving. I don't like this card at all.
But what about if you made opponents sacrifice things when you sacked things?
I mean, still, so you play one of those and like that's 4 creatures. Like one of the creatures are like ETB and everybody has a sacrifice creature. That's still like that's 4 creatures. You need to add more to that count.
Yeah, this one that he makes adds 1 more to the count. You sack it at the beginning of the next end step. On end step, use this ability.
I'm still not high on this card.
Yeah, I'm like super shocked you're not high on this card. I'm not saying this card's like insane, but I think that the fact that you're creating the fodder, even though it doesn't feed into the second ability, but the fact that there are plenty of cards that can help you feed into that second ability, and you can just search your library for any card. Game
I
changing.
mean, I understand. I just feel like I've played enough of these like everybody sack shit to know that they generate a massive amount of hate. I'm not expecting for him to survive.
So I mean, like, what if you don't do everybody sack shit deck then?
Then you're doing you just sack shit and hitting 5 for your own stuff. Like that's a lot.
I mean, Perforos Intervention, red X. Choose 1. Create X1 red elemental creature token with trample haste. Sacrifice it. You can do a goblin strategy where you basically just make a shit ton of goblins. This is in red. I mean, there's tons of ways to get other creatures. You know what I mean?
I get it that yeah, there are ways to do it, but it's incredibly like it. You're showing the entire table what's about to happen. Like the writing is on the wall there. They know that you're going to be able to tutor for something in the case any of that stuff resolves. I think that this is a deck that's like it's going to generate a lot of hate. and it's going to move very, very slowly. I think you can play entire games where this ability does not be, or like it's not activated a single time.
Shane, do you have anything to add?
Really don't.
All right, let's move on to the grades. After saying all that stuff, I just wanted to play Devil's Advocate. Not high on this card. It's a D.
I agree with Hunter. I'm going to give it a D as well.
I mean, I'll agree with the both of you, and I'll give this a B.
I'm gonna agree with Steven, and I'm gonna give this a D.
Once again, Steven's B has brought this average to a 70%, which is a C. Moving on to Meria, Scholar of Antiquity. Meria, Scholar of Antiquity is 1, a red, and a green for a 3/3 legendary creature, Elf Artificer. You can tap and untap non-token artifact you control to add a green. And it also says you can tap 2 untapped non-token artifacts you control. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. This is not great because of the word non-token.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it
'Cause
does a lot of stuff, dude.
You really want to use those treasures, but this card says no.
Well, that'd be cheating.
I know. That's
You
why
could tap your soul ring for a green.
Yes, you can.
I'm just saying. It's bonkers, dude.
You can tap your equipments. That'd be cool.
That seems good.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem that bad, Hunter.
What do you think, Dave?
I think this card is number one. All right, I'm going to talk about two different things here. Number one, I actually love the fact that this is a way that Gruul can interact with artifacts that is very, very unique. I love this ability here. I think it's very interesting, and it's a direction that they don't explore. And I would love to see more of like this kind of play. Two, I completely disagree with you saying that this card is weak. It fuels itself. You cast cards from, or you can exile the card from the top of your library, and you're going to be able to cast it, assuming that you're playing an artifact-heavy deck. Those artifacts then come down. You can then tap them to make more mana to exile the top, or to cast the thing that you just exiled. I think that this actually has a scary amount of card draw to it, and I think that this can get out of control pretty quickly.
You know, Dave, it's actually kind of funny because, like, now that I think about it, they're playing stuff out of exile is a really good mechanic.
I did that once.
Have you exited from exile?
I think
I
Prosper does a pretty good job at that, don't you think?
Guys, I got to go.
What?
I'm done with Steven.
Oh. Prosper. Yeah.
Prosper's pretty good, dude.
No, but like, I think that's obviously was sliding in like the 99 and like that Escape from Exile deck that you played. But even just on its own as a face commander, I think this is a really cool Gruul Artifacts Matter deck.
I'll tell you what. I wasn't high on it at first because I was just thinking really like, I want to use my treasures so bad. But now that I'm thinking about the artifacts and the equipment, I changed my mind.
Not even equipment, just like any kind of artifact. It's just like anything that you want to build up. Because like this is like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's like green red's take it like Urza, but it does something similar. Like it adds you extra mana. It helps you draw more cards.
Steven, got anything to add?
I mean, I hate these kind of decks. I don't know. When I think Gruul, I think big, stompy, hurt people. I don't really think like...
It's not that.
I know.
That's why I love this card.
Yeah.
We bitched. We bitched and we moaned at the Selesnya card because it's like, oh, here's another Selesnya tokens, and the Boros card was like, guess what? This is fucking, I guess, go wide aggro again. This is a Gruul card that takes it in a very unique direction.
It does.
I'd like to state for the record, I never complained about either of those cards.
Okay, I know that the rest of us, the other three members of this, have definitely done that.
Well, let's move on to the grades. Shane, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna see that I know that it's powerful. Will I play it? No. I'm gonna give it a C. I'm acknowledging.
What?
I'm not gonna play it.
It does. We're talking about as a commander, not necessarily.
Yeah, but I thought this whole thing was our opinion.
Sure, I'll let you keep your C.
Thank you.
I'm giving it an A. I'm high.
Holy shit! I talked you that high.
I'm going all the way up. I'm a big Gruul guy. This is a different strategy for Gruul. I like that a lot. I'm going all in. It's an A.
Wow. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm gonna give this a B.
I'm gonna give it a B as well. I've already said my piece on the card and why I love it.
Well, the average here for Meria is a B.
What were you
Well-
originally gonna give that card, Hunter?
Let's see.
Damn, I talked to you fucking through the roof.
This card is Nael, Avizoa Aeronaut. Nael, Avizoa Aeronaut is 2, a green and a blue, for a 2/4 legendary creature, Elf Scout. It's got flying. It has domain. It says whenever Nael, Avizoa Aeronaut deals combat damage to a player, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. Put up to one of them on top of your library and the rest on the bottom in a random order. Then, if there are 5 basic land types among lands you control, draw a card. That last sentence, you will never, ever, ever see it, because there is only going to be 2 land types in this entire deck.
Next.
How unfortunate. Is it worth it to look at the top 2 and put 1 back?
No. We can go to grades. This card's an F.
All right. Well, with that, Shane, what are you giving it?
Words can't describe this.
Wow. Just out of words, I'm giving it an F.
I'll
I
give
mean,
it
thank
an F.
God we're not asking you for words. We just want a letter.
All right, fine, dude. 1 letter F.
Yeah, I'm not giving this a grade. I don't want to talk about this.
Okay, fuck you. Give us a grade.
His
F.
notes does say F about 70 times.
Is it an F, Steven?
Yeah.
All right. The average here is an A.
What?
Nice.
Isn't that cool, dude? Just kidding. It's an F. All right. This next one is Najal the Stormrunner. Najal the Stormrunner is 2 blue, and a red for a 5/4 legendary creature. Efreet Wizard. It says you may cast sorcery spells as though he had flash. And whenever Najal the Stormrunner attacks, you may pay 2. If you do, when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy,
Why does this card not have haste?
because it would
Not
be
fast
broken.
enough.
It does look like it should have haste.
He's running slower than the speed of lightning. Wait.
No, he is the lightning.
It's
He
a really
is
slow
lightning.
storm.
He is the one who knocks.
Well, let's talk about the card itself. I think this is good, man.
I think
All
this is
your-
all right.
All your stuff is instant. Or your sorceries are now instants. That's cool. Seems powerful.
5-drop that wants more mana fed into it.
You love that.
I don't.
You love that. He loves that just as much as he loves being told that he loves things. That was really hard to get out.
The first the first ability on it is fine. The second ability on it has the stipulation where it has to attack, and then you have to pay more mana.
Yeah, but imagine if you had the mana to do so, and you cast one of Steven's favorite spells, Expropriate.
You don't need to do that. You cast Expropriate one time and you win the game.
Yeah, but you could do it twice, right, Steven?
I mean, yeah, but you could just, play a 3-mana commander and have access to Grixis instead of just Izzet.
Or if you really want this effect, go play Calimax, and now you have green too.
I'd
Yep.
play Calimax. That's my boy.
I mean, this card with Teferi, I think it's the Oath of Teferi. No, I can't remember the Teferi.
I was
What's
gonna
the
say
one that
Oath
makes
of Teferi
you-
is an enchantment, and it's white.
What's the Teferi that doesn't let your opponents play instances anymore? They have to cast them at sorcery speed.
Or the little one, the 3-drop.
Yeah, I think that card that's a white one, isn't it?
It is.
You tell me the
Yeah,
name?
yeah. This card's shitty. Never mind.
That was fast.
Wow. Okay. So let's move on to the grades. Steven.
D.
Same. It's too slow and mana hungry. I'm gonna give it a D.
Well, I'm gonna give it a C, dude.
I'm on board with the Shane. This is a C.
Oh.
Average for a Najal is a C.
See
We
ya never.
have another one. This is Namada Primeval Warden. Namada Primeval Warden is 2, a black and a green for a 3/4 legendary creature tree folk. It's got reach. It says if a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. When you do, create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. You also pay a green and sacrifice a sapperling. And Namada Primeval Warden gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You also pay 1 and a black and sacrifice 2 sapperlings to draw a card.
Pretty solid.
Sapperling Tribal? Anybody?
Yeah.
I like sapperlings.
This is really good.
He's very flexible.
I mean, my favorite part is if a creature an opponent controls dies, exile it.
Oh yeah, I mean he shuts off graveyard strategies just by existing, and then his other effects there are just going to be pure value. Plus, this guy has reach, and this is going to be one of those cards that I forget has that keyword, and I'm going to swing in with my flyer and be really fucking sad.
And then you go, can I take it back? And I go, fuck no, you can't. It's dead.
Yeah, after you pump this thing up into oblivion too, where I'm like, oh, my angel died.
Oh, bummer. Yeah. Gotta get some more cards in this deck though that make sapperlings. For sure.
Does that card? So a green one makes a. Is it a sapperling at every end step or upkeep? Tender Shoot Dryad.
Wait, what?
Tender Shoot Dryad.
That makes sapperlings?
Yeah, at the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. And then
He
it
makes
says
them big.
Yeah, sapperlings you control get +2/+2 as long as you have the city's blessing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Fucking great.
Sapperlings, dude. Pretty powerful. Let's move on to the grades. What are we giving it, Shane?
Powerful B.
Powerful B. Whoa.
I'm trying to think of what's stopping me from giving this an A.
Public ridicule, maybe? I don't know.
A. I'm gonna give it an A.
There you go.
There it is. It's an A. I'm giving it a B though.
I think that this is a wonderful card for card design. I think that it is not oppressive, but kind of feeds into itself at the same time, which I think Wizards has had a problem with. I also think it's a little slow, so I'm going to give it a C.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Didn't see that one coming.
Bah, 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 bah.
This average here is a B.
We did it.
This one is Ohabi Caleria. Ohabi Caleria is 1, a green and a white for a 1/3 legendary creature elf archer. It has reach. Untap all archers you control during each other player's untap step. And whenever an archer you control deals damage to a creature, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card.
Didn't we talk about this? Archer Tribal, and we said it was amazing, and
Talked in the spoiler video. Yeah.
yeah, we said so this is like an A+, like obviously going to be the top of our decks.
Were we high?
I don't remember. We might have been. I don't know.
Definitely didn't say any of that.
Oh,
But
didn't shit.
there is 66 archers in these colors. So do with that as you will.
I don't know, dude. This is the kind of card that I'm not gonna like until somebody just fucking wrecks me with it.
Archers, are they good enough, Dave?
Let me explain to you why this card is broken.
Here we
I
go.
actually
Here we go, dude.
All right, for 3 mana, you get a 1/3 that has like pseudo vigilance because like it untaps itself, and it has reach. So whenever your opponent plays a really big blocker, this can jump. I'm sorry, whenever your opponent plays a really big flyer, this can jump. Yeah, winning games, dude.
Winning games, dude. I love how just you don't agree with anything you're saying. Yeah, I don't know if Archers is a strong enough tribe. I mean, the effect of untapping all of them during each other player's untap step, super powerful. Definitely is going to be hard to get any sort of damage onto you when most archers have reach. So you're going to be blocking. Some of them you have to give everything death touch too. That'd be crazy. I don't know. I think I'm talking myself up on this. I like it a lot.
I'm ready to move on.
Okay. Let's move on to the grades. Steven, we'll start with you again.
This card was an F until I saw the untap all archers, so it's a D.
You didn't see the
Yeah.
you didn't see the part that was like the main part of the card?
I just saw
He
this
doesn't
card.
read, okay?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I'm giving it a D as well. I just don't know if Archers is a strong enough tribe.
I'm gonna give it a D as well. D for David because I love him.
You know, I was gonna give this thing a D, but
Give it
then
an S.
all of you went with a D. I'm like, I don't know what's holding me back from an F here.
I don't think anything's
Nothing.
holding you back, bud.
I'm just gonna fall in line like a good little sheep. I'm gonna give it a D.
That's
That-
right, baby.
The average for Ohabi Caleria is a D. Next up, we have a whale. Orca Siege Demon. Orca Siege Demon is 5, a black and a red for a 5/5 legendary creature demon. It has trample. It says whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Orca Siege Demon. And when Orca dies, it deals damage equal to its power, divided as you choose among any number of targets. Ooh, this screams David.
Does it
David.
though?
Dude, so this is what you do. Okay, you sacrifice a bunch of your stuff. You make this thing absolutely huge. He's got trample. He's a 5/5 to begin with. All right. And then whenever your opponent deals with him, they're probably going to actually just exile him because that's what most removal in EDH does. So he doesn't actually have really another ability. And he's only going to cost 9 to recast him.
Yeah,
So-
that's A+ for David.
So what you're saying is you'll sack him in response to them trying to exile?
I mean, you can. He starts at 7 mana. This card could have been 5 mana, and I think at that point it might have been okay.
What about 6 mana?
I don't think 6 mana actually would even make this thing playable, and 7 most certainly not.
So you're saying it's unplayable as it is?
I think it's unplayable as it is. Also, its name is Orca, which is really fucking cool and disappointing that they wasted such a badass name on such a bad card.
Steven, what do you think about this card?
What David said.
Oh,
Go ahead and replay what David said.
Just that's it.
Yep.
All right. Fair
I
enough.
mean-
You know what? Let's go ahead and replay David's sentence a third time for me then. For playing that game.
I mean, technically, Orca is a woman. Her name was Lady Orca back in Legends.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a vanilla card, dude.
it was 7/4.
Now
and then
that
it
now
was
she's
like,
pissed.
oh, so crazy and big. But yeah, let's move on to grades. I'm gonna give it a C. I think the ability is super cool, but like you guys were saying, 7 mana is a lot.
Yeah, this is a D for me.
It hurts
As a-
my heart to see so many bad Rakdos cards. I'm going to give this an F, actually. I don't think this is playable.
Oh,
Whoa.
I'm gonna give this a D. Poor Orca.
Sticking right there, Orca. She's got a D. This next one, not King, but Queen Alanal of Ruidoc. Queen Alanal of Ruidoc is 1 green and 2 white for a star legendary creature elf noble. It says its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control, and if 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus a 1/1 white soldier creature token are created instead. So, tokens for green white.
Dude, I'm so over tokens in this color hunter. It's like all you ever want.
So the queen and the king both kind of do this token thing, and they're the same colors.
This is the reprint of a reprint of a reprint of a reprint. They all just have different names.
Is it though?
This is not the first time I've seen this ability. I swear.
Yeah, well, like you said before, rabble rousing. Put this, make a bunch of tokens. Like you were saying earlier, make some sapperlings, make more tokens. And then this is one giant commander because you have
Leap.
so many creatures.
Love it, dude.
You can also add this into that deck that makes the dog and cat tokens.
That's true. That's Ginny Fey.
Yeah.
Is it Ginny Fey or is it the actual dog and cat tokens that also make tokens or commanders that also make tokens?
You know what
Nope.
I meant.
He's talking about Ginny Fey.
I get that, but there's also a legendary dog cat thing. I think it's in Naya. It does this exact same thing. Dude, this ability has been done to fucking death.
Are you telling me that when green and white color pairing come together, tokens come out?
See, my problem is that's it.
That's been my problem too, Dave. Welcome to my life. So yeah, let's move on to the grades. As far as it's been done over and over and over again, it still does something. So this is an average of a C for me.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's been done over and over again, and it does it really, really well. It's got a lot of supporting cards, so it's a B.
Wow. It does it over and over again, and just like other cards, I'm sure they're fine. It's a C.
It's a C. I'm done talking about this reprint of a reprint. Please give me something new in Selesnya.
No.
All right, this average for the queen is a C. Next card is Radha Coalition Warlord. Radha Coalition Warlord is 2, a red and a green for a 3/3 legendary creature elf warrior. It has domain. It says whenever Radha Coalition Warlord becomes tapped, another target creature you control gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of basic land types and mountain lands you control. So it only gets +2/+2. It'll ever only get +2/+2.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
I don't like it, Hunter.
It's not
Talk
good.
me into it because I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
It's
This
whenever it
has-
becomes tapped. So like if you have a way to untap this and then tap it back down repeatedly, you can buff the fuck out of something.
Well, how do you force it to tap them?
There are ways that you can force to tap things.
I swear to God, if you take me to Christmas again, I can't do it, Dave.
No, I'm not trying to take you to Christmas. I'm just saying that there's fucking synergies here, okay?
I like how when you make synergies, it's okay, but when I do, I'm stupid.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are cards out there that could make this work. I'm not saying, look, my opponent's going to cast a removal spell, so I'm just going to play my thing with Hexproof or Indestructible, or I'm just going to make this thing unblockable and instant speed because I'm always going to have those effects.
Do I sound like that?
Yeah,
Is my
you do.
voice that deep? Holy shit.
What I am saying is that there are ways where you could at least make this more than just +2/+2. I'm not saying that this card is good. I'm not saying that the card is busted or broken or even playable for that matter.
Okay. I hear you. I see you.
Yeah. Did you guys know that the blue whale?
What in the hell are you? What?
What?
We're keeping that in.
What did you just say?
It has the longest penis.
Oh,
all
my-
right. We're
I
going
snorted.
to whale facts. Radha Coalition Warlord is not very good, but I will say, David, if you find that ability to untap it and tap it and untap it and tap it, good for you, man.
Yeah, good
Look.
for you, dude.
I'm just saying you can take this awful card and make it mediocre with a lot of synergy and help.
Dude, I love it. Do it.
Do it. Yeah, but this is still bad, Dave. So let's move on to the grades. Stephen, what are you giving it?
F.
Shane?
Oh man, they were talking about whales. Yeah, it's an F.
I'm giving it an F as well.
I'm gonna give it a D.
Yeah,
Ooh, look at you.
magical
I mean,
Christmas land.
It's a bad card.
It
It's a
is.
4-mana 5/5, I guess.
Is it? It's another creature.
No, it's another target creature. It's a fuck it. You know what? Fuck all y'all. It's a D. I'm sticking with D.
This average is still an F. Final card for this video is Wrath Weatherlight Stalwart. Wrath Weatherlight Stalwart is a white and a blue for a 1/3 legendary creature human wizard. It says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control. If you do, draw a card. You can also pay 3 and 2 white. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance to end of turn. Is that really good for 5 mana?
No,
No.
that's really bad.
Way
How
to
about
end on a
whenever-
banger, my boy. Let's go.
But card draw though, right?
Yeah.
You have to tap 2 untap though. Hmm.
Oh,
I love this card, dude.
It's getting worse, isn't it, boys?
I just realized something that makes me sad. The flavor text on this old chip has seen a lot, but she's not done yet. It's the Weatherlight. It belongs to Phyrexia now, dude. She's done. She
Uh-oh.
actually is done.
She is done. Weatherlight is gone.
Poor
Poor
boy.
Raph.
My poor boy.
Weatherlight completed.
I'm ready for grades.
Are we ready for grades? Dave, you got anything to say? I see you got some stuff.
It does things from time to time. It's really expensive. It's a D.
We didn't.
Alright.
Oh, you're
We
not
are
doing
on
grades
grades.
yet.
We are on grades, apparently. I'm giving
Alright.
it a D as well.
D.
D's across the board.
Raph Weatherlight Stalwart is an average of a D. But that is going to do it for part 1 of all of these multicolored legendary creatures from Dominaria United. That was a handful and a half, it felt like. So we got to do it again in part 2, right, boys?
Yeah.
That was 2 hours. Jeez.
It won't be. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below, as always, letting us know what you think of all of these grades. Do you have a favorite card from this set, or this video, should I say? Which one of these are you going to make into a commander yourself? Also, hit that like button if you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We are at 2,000 subscribers, so thank you all very much. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and Twitter. That is at GuysThatMagic, where we post all kinds of different things. And as always, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Later.
2.4 meters.
Bye.